I wish you a very pleasant afternoon this day, Thursday, in the seventh week of Easter. We are just a couple of days away from the Feast of Pentecost, the coming of the Holy Spirit, the birthday of the church. As I shared with some people at Mass, it is going to be sad to see the Easter season come to a close, but maybe not in the way you think. I will be sad because of the fact that we do not then get this steady diet from the Acts of the Apostles. The Acts of the Apostles is like a novel. And as you have heard me refer to the Acts of the Apostles, it is exciting to see the emergence of the early church and how the Holy Spirit filled those early apostles and disciples with such power that nothing could get in their way, nothing could overwhelm them, nothing could defeat them. Today, for example, we hear of the conflict between the Sadducees and the Pharisees. Paul is right in the middle of all of that. What that tells us is that this conflict points to the fact that the resurrection turned everything upside down. The resurrection shook everything up. And that is good. It is good that everything is turned upside down. Everything is shaken up a little bit, if not a lot, because it really reinforces the fact that we are a people dedicated to God and dedicated to one another. That somehow the resurrection gives us a new perspective on our lives and on the world, what our lives can be, what our world can be, because evil and sin and death have been defeated once and for all. In all of this, we welcome maybe the conflict that sometimes occurs in our own individual lives of faith. We welcome the conflict that sometimes occurs in our parish, in our diocese, in our nation, certainly in our world, because opportunities abound regarding who we are and what we can do to make the kingdom come all the more. We trust that the Holy Spirit will be ever present to us. We trust that the Holy Spirit will give us what we will need. We trust that the Holy Spirit will make all things possible. That, I believe, is truly exciting. The Feast of Pentecost awaits us. As the Feast of Pentecost awaits us, let us then open our hearts. And as we open our hearts, remember what I said a couple of days ago. What is it that God is calling you to do now because of this season of Easter? And what is the gift of the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit you desire? What is the gift? You may have to go and find out what those 7 gifts are in your life. But what gift, or maybe what gifts, do you really seek to receive by way of the great feast of Pentecost? Our world can be different, and this global health crisis can be rendered powerless because it is not the virus. It is how do we respond to the virus as God's anointed people. Let us then be all the more confident and all the more courageous, like Paul, and let us relive in a particular kind of a way this beautiful story of the early church, the Acts of the Apostles. Make it a great afternoon.